Welcome to a special episode of the Adoption Matters podcast. Today's conversation is a bit different from our usual trispective format. Instead, we're sitting down with a valued partner to talk about an existing and exciting collaboration that expands the support we can offer to both our students and coaches who want to specialize in adoption competent coaching. We're thrilled to announce a mutual partnership with the Center for Coaching Certification. Through this arrangement, students in Cathy Liska's Coaching Academy can now take our Adoption Attuned coaching certification program as part of their Level 1 and Level 2 training. At the same time, we're expanding the resources available to our students by connecting them with Cathy's Coaching Academy for those who want to pursue ICF certification or who want to advance in PCC or MCC credentials. This partnership allows us to combine adoption-specific expertise with world-class coaching training, creating a pathway for coaches who want to serve the adoption community with both competence and credential. Today, we are joined by Cathy Liska, CEO and founder of the Center for Coaching Certification, which trains coaches worldwide. Cathy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Very excited to be here with you.
And we're excited to have you. Why don't we jump right in and have you start by telling us a little bit about what brought you to this work?
Yeah, the work of coaching, it's funny. I think a lot of people have similar experiences. I was actually speaking and training all over the place, and I had a lot of people come up to me and say, "Oh, will you coach me?" or "Oh, you should be a coach." And you hear it enough and you start saying, okay, what are they talking about? I have no idea. So, so I went and researched it and said, oh, I really like this. I like the philosophy behind it, etc. I went ahead and got some training in it. I said, oh, this is great. So then I started teaching it with that particular program. And then I started learning about the International Coaching Federation. And that program was not part of the International Coaching Federation. And they actually weren't interested in becoming part of it. And they weren't interested in making changes or improvements to their program. And then I started getting complaints from people that were in the classes and that kind of thing. And I thought, okay, yeah, I got to go the ICF route, the International Coaching Federation, which is the gold standard. And that was what motivated me to develop this program that we offer and launch. And so we've been doing it over 16 years now. Oh.
Wow. I didn't realize it was that long. That's pretty well established. Yeah,
Wow, that's amazing. It's so interesting to like coaching, but then fine tuning the whole thing to figure out what's the right fit, what is the gold standard anyway. So, that's great.
Mhm. Yeah. And the International Coaching Federation has core competencies for a coach. That's where our code of ethics comes from. They have standards in terms of accrediting programs, in terms of membership, in terms of earning a credential. And those are things that absolutely strengthen the profession of coaching.
totally, because there is, and they are rigorous too, I would say. And it does strengthen it and gives it a high degree of integrity, I'd say.
Yeah.
For sure. So when you look at, we're this partnership that we are joining in or coming together with, we're super excited for it, and we
We are
really can
too.
see so many benefits, and we'd love to ask you how you see that your Center for Coaching Certification is uniquely positioned for this particular partnership with us.
Yeah. Well, so what you offer is very specialized in the space of adoption. And what we offer is really about the coaching side of it. When
Mhm.
people are going to do coaching, it's like any profession you go into. There's specific skills to learn, there's specific processes, etc. So your expertise in the adoption area is fabulous. If we have somebody who's in coach training and that's an area of interest for them, that kind of thing, then we can refer them to you and say, okay. And we've actually designed our programs now where people can choose electives at a certain point and say, okay, I've got all my basics, my core pieces for the coaching, and now I want to specialize in a particular area. So your elective or your program is one of the electives they can take to specialize. And then for the people that you're working with, the advantage that we offer is they don't have to start over on their training hours. Uh, Typically speaking, if you go to a school, they're not going to accept the credit hours for other schools. We have the option of doing that. We've decided, yes, it makes sense because to me, this is about the quality of what they're getting as well as the content making sense for them.
Mhm.
Our
Yeah.
expertise is the coaching side of it. Yours is the adoption side. So it's just a good partnership all around for people that want to move into that space. It
Yeah.
it gives yeah, it gives your graduates a way to say, okay, I've already got this many hours of training. Can I use that as part of my coaching program? And the answer is yes. We've got ours designed in a way that we can fill in the other hours and the other requirements and support people earning membership or a credential with ICF.
Yeah, I think back to my coaching training and when we were getting more towards the end, and then we had conversations about how do you want to use your coaching, and that's kind of where it came in, where a lot of us there happened to be adoptive parents who were in the
Okay.
coaching academy. And we said we really see the benefits of this approach with, at the time, way back then, we were thinking mainly adoptive families, but of course, we've transitioned now somewhat to really honing in on the full group, the triad, the adoptive parents, adoptees, and birth parents. But at that time, we could see the benefits of what we were learning for the adoption community.
Oh, yeah.
And wouldn't it have been great back then if our academy would have said, hey, let's wrap that in so that you can be considering how this might apply to
Mhm.
your expertise that you want to, what you want to do. And
Mhm.
that would have given us even more skills to be able to
Mhm.
say, okay, now let's really sit down and look, how does coaching actually apply to the adoption constellation? And so I think what you're doing by wrapping it into your level 1 and level 2 trainings is awesome because it really, in the end, will strengthen people to be really even more adoption attuned
Yeah.
than before. Yeah.
Yeah. So for the
Yeah.
people that are interested in that, it's just this perfect combination of that deep expertise working with different people in the triad, and then also the deep expertise on the coaching side of it.
Yeah. And on the flip side, for us, when we have somebody coming and they're
Mhm.
coming in and they're seeing the benefits of more of the coaching that it really, we have actually had people already say, hey, how can I get more? And
Mhm.
so for us, it's a great way to support our students by saying,
Yeah.
we have this relationship. This is a great program.
Mhm.
And here it is. So they don't have to be looking and wondering, but it's
Yeah.
already there. So I think
Or
that,
starting over somewhere.
yeah,
Yeah.
before starting. Yeah.
Yeah. We have a very similar partnership with ADHD parent coaching. And we've been doing that partnership for years now. And same concept. They learn about the ADHD parent coaching side of it, and then are looking for what's required on the coaching and to become a member and earn a credential. And so it really works.
Mhm. Yeah. So aside from what we already talked about, what would you say are the greatest benefits of coach training in conjunction with our Adoption Attuned certification program?
Yeah.
Info.
Yeah. So Obviously, the idea that you can earn a credential. Uh, Interestingly enough, some people say, okay, well, do I really have to get training to be a coach? And it's kind of funny. Can you imagine if a therapist said, oh, do I really have to get training to be a therapist? Or an accountant said, do I really have to get training to be a CPA? It's like, yes, of course. Of course you do. You want that. And when you have that training, learning those specific skills, ICF has put so much work into what the competencies are for doing coaching, and that gets researched and reviewed consistently. Same is true for the Code of Ethics. It gets reviewed and updated on a consistent basis because the world continues changing and there are new things to address. I actually had the privilege of being on the leadership team for the last round of updates to the Code of Ethics. So knowing that you have access to the competencies and the ethics that really make a difference in the process. In terms of the coaching itself, the statistics to me are absolutely astounding. The average return on investment for working with a coach is 600%. I don't know of anywhere you can go and invest money and get a 600% return. That's phenomenal. And the reason it's so effective, it is actually the same reason that, or the same way that most people misunderstand coaching. When we think of a coach, most of us think of like an athletic coach or, somebody who's going to give us advice or teach us how to do something, etc. And it's actually the opposite of that. Coaching, the form of coaching we're talking about, the International Coaching Federation, my way of describing it is to say it's advanced development for advanced results. We all have education. We get on the job training. We may be fortunate enough to have a consultant we work with or a mentor we work with, etc. And then comes coaching. And the key difference in coaching is instead of somebody telling you what you should do, it is a process through which you tap your own expertise. You really are your own best expert, and you have your answers within. It's finding those and discovering those and thinking them through and processing and considering different options or perspectives or possibilities. So the coaching process itself puts you in the driver's seat. And because you are the one discovering your answers, you own them and they make sense and they work for you. And the power of coaching is absolutely a game changer. It's something I wish we all learned. I wish a lot of the coach training was taught in school, frankly. And uh, in terms of working with a coach, it's an incredible opportunity.
Those are incredible benefits. I'm curious what you're looking forward to with our partnership. I'm imagining it's a little different, being that we each represent a different part of the triad, and just kind of curious about that a little bit.
Yeah, well, so from the perspective of the Center for Coaching Certification, what we're looking at is, we have this great expertise on the coaching and developing people as coaches based on the competencies, the ethics, etc. And people get a certain point where they want to really specialize. The analogy I often use is when you go to college, your first couple of years of college, you get all your basics. And then by your junior year, you're declaring your major. And then you're taking classes that are specialized based on what your major is. It's the same concept. So we're going to get all the core classes for the coaching. And when somebody gets to the point of declaring their major or choosing their niche in coaching, this is an option they have. And it's fabulous. And there are others. For us, there are others, other electives. So people choose based on the type of coaching they want to do.
So I'm curious, what do you think are some of the greatest strengths in coaching?
In coaching, when you have a well-trained coach, their greatest strengths, listening at a level that most people just are not used to. The irony here, if you ask somebody, hey, are you a good listener? Most people say, yeah, I'm a good listener.
Right.
And then if you ask them, do you think other people listen well? Most people say, no, not so much. When you have a coach, they listen at a level that really goes above and beyond anything you're used to. The other really great thing they do is ask questions. And the way they ask their questions is really significant. They are truly open questions. They're forward focused. They're supporting you so that you're really exploring what are your opportunities? What are your possibilities? What are your resources? What are your potential barriers? And then supporting you developing your own strategy for how you're moving forward. It's incredible. And the process we teach, in addition to all of that, also supports confidence. And to me, most of us, that's our biggest barrier. If we get up in the morning, we look in the mirror, that's our biggest barrier right there. And so supporting people with confidence, developing their confidence, and then also being positive and forward focused, solution focused is really significant. It's really easy to get caught up in all the negative, and it's important to have a process and a way to really choose to focus on the positive and the opportunities.
For sure. Don't you agree, ladies, from every perspective of the triad, that I think that's exactly what we have said too. Because often from each triad member, I think we encounter, not deep listening sometimes. For sure. Sometimes we don't feel, don't you agree, ladies? I would also use from every perspective of the triad that I think that's exactly refreshing what for people when they sit with a coach. And all of a sudden it's because this person is conveying each triad member, I think we encounter, not deep listening,
conveying it and
sometimes.
supporting you living it.
Is there anything
Sometimes
you
we
want
don't feel-
else you want our listeners
I
to
would
know
use-
about this
I would also use the word
coaching
capable.
and
Capable.
elective agreement that
And
was
that's
put together?
refreshing for people when they
Yeah, I
sit with
think
a coach.
I mean, in terms
And
of
all
the
of a sudden
agreement,
it's
it feels
this
like it
person
just
is
makes
conveying
sense.
that we're
And so
capable.
part of the challenge I have is
Yeah.
this obvious? It almost feels that way, and I'm sure it isn't. Supporting you living it. It's
Living it out.
the specialization, the content you're teaching them is so powerful. So imagine this.
Is there anything you want else you want our
what
listeners to
your
know about
program
this
offers, and
coaching
then in the coach training, yes, learning your
elective
competencies,
agreement
your
that was
ethics, your
put together?
processes, etc.
Yeah,
Now let's go beyond that. I mean, in terms of the skills are now expected of anyone in a leadership capacity. Part of the challenge I have is this obvious? Beyond that, it almost feels that way, and I'm sure it isn't. I'm a better grandma, I'm a better friend and family member and partner. The specialization, the content you're teaching them is so powerful. So imagine about what you gain from the coach training, your program offers, and elevating the coach training, yes, elevating the way you communicate, your ethics, your processes, what you say. Now let's go interact with people. Coaching skills are now expected of anyone in a leadership capacity. Learning how to set goals. Beyond that, the way you set a goal, I'm a better mom, I'm a better grandma, I'm a better friend and family member and partner and everything else. Have you ever known someone that said, "Oh, I need to lose weight"? When you think about what you gain from the coach people like that, right?
Well, I'll raise my hand.
Elevating your listening skills, elevating the way
and
people say that, and guess what? You say what you 5 years later, they're saying the same thing. Interact with people, because even the way that wasn't an effective way to define your goal. Learning in how to set process, it's really funny. Change that with the way you set a goal makes a difference in whether or not you achieve a conversation. So you'll start working with that individual. Have you ever known someone that said, "Oh, I need to lose weight. How much do you want to weigh?" You know people
what
like that,
size
right?
do you
Well,
wanna
I'll
be?
raise my hand.
And you'll start saying, okay,
All
what's
right.
meaningful about that? What does that
And
do
people
for
say
you?
that, and guess
So
what?
tapping
5
your
years later, they're
internal
saying the same
motivators
thing.
for it.
Mhm.
And then
Because
focusing
that wasn't
on
an
what are the
effective way to
barriers?
define their goal.
How do you move past those?
And in a
What are
coaching
the
process,
strategies?
you're going to
What are
change
your
that
action
with them
steps?
through the questions you ask
What
and by how you have
specifically
the
are you doing?
conversation.
When are you doing it? How are you
So
doing
you'll
it to
start
move
working with
you
that individual
toward
and saying,
what you
okay,
want?
so when you lose weight, how much do you
It's a
want to
different
weigh?
focus.
Or what size do
from
you want to
saying,
be?
I
And you'll
need
start
to.
saying, okay, what's meaningful about that?
Hmm.
What does that do for you? So
Such good
tapping
stuff
your
right there,
internal
Cathy.
motivators for
How
it.
can people reach you
And
if they're
then
interested in learning
focusing
more about the
on
Center for
what are the
Coaching
barriers?
Certification?
How do you
Yeah,
move past
absolutely. So
those?
of course we're online.
What are the
Definitely
strategies?
come visit us.
What are your action steps?
Hopefully the URL is easy
What
for everyone.
specifically
It's
are
the
you
word
doing?
coach.
When are you doing it? How are
And then
you
the
doing
word
it to
cert,
move you
short for
toward
certification.
what you want?
So coachcert.com.
It's a different
And
focus
on the website,
from
there's
saying,
access
I
to
need to.
overviews of the programs and learning outcomes, as well
Such good
as
stuff right there, Cathy.
all kinds of other great
How can people
information,
reach
blogs,
you if they're
podcasts,
interested in learning more
etc.
about the Center for Coaching Certification?
That's great.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course we're
Cathy,
online.
thank you so much for joining
Definitely
us
come
today
visit
and
us.
for this partnership.
Hopefully the
We're
URL
excited
is
about the
easy
doors
for
this
everyone.
opens
It's
for
the word
coaches who want to
coach.
serve adoptive
And then the
families,
word
birth
cert,
parents, and
short for
adoptees who
certification.
both
So
with both
coachcert.com.
experience and credential
And
training.
on the
To our
website,
listeners,
there's
if you're
access
interested in
to
learning more
overviews
about
of
the
the
Adoption
programs
Attuned
and
Coaching
learning
Certification
outcomes,
Program,
as
or
well
about pursuing
as
ICF
all kinds of
certification
other great
through the Center
information,
for
blogs,
Coaching
podcasts,
Certification, you
etc.
can find those links available in our show
That's
notes.
great.
Thanks for
That is
joining us
great.
today. Cathy, thank you
Yeah,
so
thanks,
much for joining
Cathy.
us today and for this partnership. We're excited about the doors this opens for coaches who want to serve adoptive families, birth parents, and adoptees who with both experience and credential training. To our listeners, if you're interested in learning more about the Adoption Attuned Coaching Certification Program or about pursuing ICF certification through the Center for Coaching Certification, you can find those links available in our show notes. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks, Cathy. I can sense your commitment to this, and that to me makes me even more gratified that we're entering into this relationship. Yeah, because
We're
you're
excited.
definitely living it. Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's good.
All right, well, have a good day.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.